Cool. Well, with Monero subreddit on Dread reaching 100K like subscribers, I think. Let's look. I don't go on Dread too often anymore. Mainly because they're called subreddits. Dread is better. Dread is cool, but it's kind of dead right now. Maybe I think it got a revamp and it's getting better, but obviously, I mean, I don't know. When I go on there, it's, by the way, this is the best channel ever. Oh, thanks, I appreciate it. Dread's cool, but I guess like my issue is it's just, I don't know, it's very dead. It's very dead in the sense of like actual like engagement, interaction. It's not good. I mean, I don't want it to be. I mean, Reddit is a shithole in its own way, but Reddit is filled with a lot of valuable information. I do a lot of research and reviews via Reddit, via people just going on there and giving their opinion about stuff, and I've come to some good conclusion from Reddit, but I don't want it to be the only option. Normie's overwhelmingly on Dread asking about OPSEC. Yeah, that is another problem. I mean, part of it is people don't know where to go, I guess, and it's over. OPSEC is completely over. People overcomplicate OPSEC, but they don't get to the real like easy thing to understand. Is OPSEC comes down to a few basic principles: having a threat model, having a plan, understanding what is a value, what is considered, I would consider a viable threat, but you have to figure out what your threat model is to consider what's viable. If it's nation state actors, you should probably not be on the internet at all, unless you have really tight security and really tight operational security in general. But with the caveat, everyone should have a threat model, and they should assess what is considered a threat. I mean, if it's advertisers, a couple easy solutions is just, hey, I like your channel. Thanks, I appreciate it. Ghost Protocol 112. I think if like you're worried about advertisers constantly like bombarding you and being annoying, you can really just get a VPN, use email aliasing. You should do these things this anyways, but like if it's like, I mean, like maybe at some 100% they create a wall for themselves. OPSEC is high friction for normies, yeah. And I maybe I'll do a tier list of like what I consider my threat model is, what I do, how do I mitigate it, how simple is good OPSEC. I mean, that's kind of like a loaded question. It is simple in its nature. Is have it's really 3 steps. Assess your threats. Well, first find out what your threats are. Yeah, like find out your threats, your threat model. Assess them. Like tackle them one by one, and be consistent. And it's going to change. You know, your threats now could be different. 6 months from now. Always reassess. What are you trying to? And then those questions can be answered with a few simple questions, like what are you trying to hide? What are you trying to protect? What are you trying to do? What is your goal? I mean, this is like something that's like very simple in its on the surface value. It's not, hey, it's been a while. How are you? Oh yeah, man, it has been a while. I'm good. I hope you are doing well as well. Lots of big updates. Open source, we're on this up a lot. OpenWRT has a good amount of threats change every day. Yeah. I mean, start at like you can do is something as simple as like not using your ISP's router they give you. I know people are afraid. Have you ever tried pen testing or just Kali? Yeah, I pen test my network all the time. I mean, I do it to my own network, not for just legal reasons or anything, but I want to make sure that my system is secure, and you should do it to yourself. It's like searching, like go Google yourself. Go Google yourself. Go do consistent searching for yourself all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually probably good. And then you'll know what information is out there, and you'll know what information you don't care that is out there. I mean, that's the like the easiest way to do it. And you kind of start once you find out what your threat model is, you kind of know what you do and do not care about, like going in and out, and you kind of you figure out data points. Dude, what the fuck is with people using ISP provided routers? It comes from an easy thing. Like if it's your grandmother or like your girlfriend or like your grandfather, your mom or your dad, people that just they're like allergic to technology. That's a part of it, but they're paying for it too, so it's kind of silly. But yeah, I mean, for sure, it's definitely same. It was really eye-opening, but I have PF Sense, so it was mostly fine. But yeah, everyone should pen test their own network. Yeah. Just do your Wi-Fi password, like your Wi-Fi, like just make sure that no one can get on there. Update your software, your firmware. I don't use pfSense. I don't use surprisingly, I don't use an open source router, but I get to control my stuff locally, so I don't care. As long as I have local control, that's all I care about. I got Verizon Files. Fuck you! Set up, and I told them, set the ONT up for Ethernet, and they were like, "What are you talking about?" Nobody's just wanted to work usually. Yeah, for real, for sure. Damn, man, why does everyone get fucking fiber when I can? I hate this. I hate it. I hate it so much. I always like want to get fiber. Like every like couple months, I'll like shop around and try to find fiber optic company, and they're like, "Nope." I'm like, "Fuck you." Yeah. My router situation's a little goofy. Like I don't run OpenWRT or anything like open. I run Unify. Unify is great. It just works. It works fine. It's lackluster in some things but there's stuff that like a lot of like what pfSense and OpenWRT offer, I don't take advantage of or need or care. And if Unify tomorrow stripped the ability for me to run the local controller, like the cloud, the keygen controller, they normally set the. Oh, okay. For coax. Oh, okay, based. If that was not an option, I would not have Unify at all. Zero chance. But they allow it, so I control the keygen. There's no cloud involved. I don't have to, because they expect people to get TV. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Cable might be cheaper now. I use my ISP's router. Oh my God, Billy, what is wrong with you? You're spending like $15 to $20 more too. Like they're charging you for it for sure. It's so bad too. I used my ISP's router when I first started self-hosting, and oh my God, it was dude, it sucked. Why the fuck do I need TV service? That's a good question. You don't, but I think it's actually getting like cable is getting cheaper. Cable is getting cheaper than all the subscriptions. I'm just like, something that I looked at. No, I just pirate everything now, other than F1. Yeah, you should never pirate F1. Be the hero that F1. I don't understand the F1 love, but maybe it's an autism thing. I pirate everything too. I mean, legally, of course. I would never do anything illegal, like own Monero or anything like that. Okay, Dread. Yeah, based. I would say that beyond like normies, the like stuffing just went to work. Like you, yes, totally. Like, your estimate time is soon. Trademark. Why would you trademark that? I hate when people put like unironically just trademark on something, but whatever. I think like if you're like just like a normie person, like we have been gatekeeped into making stuff just work. You know what I mean? it's not a good thing. It's not a bad thing in its entirety. I get it, but it's not a good thing because like setting up your own router is really not that hard. It's just quantum computing is coming. FMC will use to kick it the ass for Monero. I don't think quantum computing is coming anytime soon. I think it's one of those things that's being overhyped. I mean, people could say the same thing about AI, but I don't think it. My thing about it too is running your own node solves a lot of things. And the thing is, I don't want FCMP++ to get released too early and become a security threat. They control the DNS server, so even if you run your own DNS server, it will bypass it. This has been proven. They will bypass your local DNS in place of your own. And I know this because I tested it. So even if you're running your own DNS server, I would pirate F1, and I have in the past, but the actual F1 TV contest is a great deal. At least it was $85 a year. Oh, and I still have to log into F1 TV. Yeah, that sounds like ass. That is a pretty good deal. $85 a year. That's crazy. Agree. Uses too many resources to use. And if you use your own, like if you first off, it bypasses your local DNS. This has been proven. You don't know what software they're running on it. It could be proprietary, so you don't know what they're grabbing, and they're charging you for it. And it's always going to be throttled. You have no control over the hardware. You have no control over the limitations. Your ISP owns that router, so there would be no point in using the router that they give you. Just use your own. Save yourself the money, and know that you are running it. Even with Unify, whatever. I know I own the controller. I own the DNS. I own everything on the local area network. I know. I own it. You know what I mean? No, Unify is proprietary, but they let you run everything local. That's all that matters. Let's see. Did it? We're getting close. I think they locked it though, right? And I would say that, relatively speaking, back to the FCMP++, I want that to roll out and be all my crypto Monero is on the node, local rules, for real, for sure. I want I want it to be released without the risk of it de-anonymizing people. Oh, that's sad. Well, I hope he makes it to the dentist and has a speedy recovery. I think that FCMP is great in theory, but if there's a security flaw, if there's a way that it can be exploited and de-anonymize people, because it's a huge upgrade, it's a huge change, I would not want it to be rolled out with the speculation of XYZ. You know what I mean? That's a huge difference, and some people are not even fucking on board with it. I want it to be testnet stressed into the ground. I rely on Monero. I rely on Monero's privacy, and I rely on Monero's ability to maintain a form of digital sovereignty, even if I don't own any. Even though I don't own any. Yo, Tornado Cash mentioned. I really appreciate you saying that. He's a very sweet boy. Yeah, I love all animals. All animals are based and cool. Much cooler than people too. Every day that I get older, I realize my cat gets older. I get sad. I'm like, unbased. Why can't animals live 2x the amount that why can't my animal outlive me? influence of Iran peace treaty on Monero. Especially cats, yeah. I found out 7 years for a cat is considered a senior, and that fucking hurt. That made me sad. I was like, what? What does that mean? How is 7 years old seniored? Bought from BT, how much? I love this one. This one's my favorite question in the Monero subreddit because people, here's the thing. Cats are the perfect animal. They are. They're the funniest too. Hello, I just made my first purchase. Unfortunately, it's very impulsive of me because I tried meth and I really craved it. So I ordered the first stimulant that comes to mind, methamphetamine. Now, question, how fucked am I? I sent BTC that I bought on a KYC exchange on the ClearNet and BISC exchange app running on my Windows PC. Why the fuck would you use Windows? What a loser. This has to be satire. This has to be unreal. I did XMR exchange, Windows, personal machine, my wallet, Tails. Yeah, you're fine. I do not care about my privacy. There is no point in this. You should care about your privacy. Oh no, bro, the cops for sure have the time and resources to trace your crypto transactions of $100. Yeah, for real. Yeah, this is why you should never go on here. People are just going to either think you're retarded or you're going to ask a retarded question. My thing is, like, a lot of people ask this. Sent XMR bought from a BTC KYC exchange. If people went to like the Monero white paper and actually read it and understood it, and if you run your own node, which you can do with the Monero wallet, the official GUI wallet, subred, fuck you, Billy. If you do these things, it doesn't matter where you buy your currency from. Obviously, this is what you should do. I mean, cats are like cypherpunks. Sometimes they're like communists though. They're like it's our food. It's our bed. It's there's some funny. It's like, hey, you go to work, bitch. Well, I sit here and go meow, 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 meow all day. I think he likes cats. As you should. Cats are based. Cats are pretty based. They're pretty awesome. I think all animals are based. I wish I could own like a bison or something, or like a cow, or like a very like weird, strange like farm animal. Like I would love nothing more than a chimpanzee to have, so I can teach him how to use an AK-47. Like, there's an AI video of a chimpanzee with the AK-47. I'm like, I want this. I've never met a communist cat. I mean, cats. They're like, it's our food, it's our place, it's our water, it's our bed. Own a bison? Yeah, that'd be kind of sick. Bisons are pretty cool. They're chill. They just chill. They eat. There's a lot of animals that would be cool to domesticate. Like, don't tell me you wouldn't want to domesticate like a fucking, let me think of a weird animal. People have done tigers before. Like, I mean, people have done orangutans too. Like a capybaras I saw a capybara. People like domesticate capybaras. I think like in like Australia, it's normal. Like the motherfuckers are huge, and they're considered a rat too. I think they're. I want a peregrine falcon. They can fly. That's sick. I would like a Gen 2 penguin. Actually, they are the fastest penguins, I think. But I don't know what that is. What is it? Animals are cool. My autism likes to watch the Animal Planet and just learn about nature. Nature's sick. But that sounds cool. What the fuck is that? Oh, based. I've seen these before. They're sick. They're like really good predator. Like they have like insane vision. They have like insane vision, don't they? like really crazy vision. Like they can see like, I forget. I think it's like what hawks can see, like over like 2 miles, like their prey like a mile or two before what it's like insane. It's insane what they can see. Animal Planet is awesome. It is awesome. As many with birds of prey, the falcon displays marked sexual dysmorphism in size, with the female measuring up. Oh, is the condition where the different sexes of the same species exhibit different morphological characters, including okay, or like the 200-mile birds. That's insane. That's a crazy speed to hit too. The lifespan of the is 19 to wild is up to 20 years. Mortality in the first year is 50 to 70%. That's crazy. Declining to 25 to 30 annually adults. Apart from such anthropogenic threat as collision with human-made objects, may be killed by larger hawks and owls. I think it's hawks with the insane eye. Wow, owls are crazy too. All birds are dinosaurs. Yeah, owls are fucking what I would love to. The reason I don't want to own an owl is because they seem like anonymous, like they have like some secrets that they dispose. I've seen too many horror movies with owls, and look at those eyes. Look at those fucking dark oracle-like eyes. This is why cats are superior. For real. But look at these fucking eyes. These eyes tell me that it's seen some shit. And it's ready to tell you your fortune. Like you're gonna be fucked. Owls are cool. I know it's a very it's over, what do you call it? Cliche to like owls because they're so unique in their own thing. They're very unique in their own. I say it's a particular case of the owls. Owls are a part of the small group of birds that live nocturnally but do not use echolocation guided to them. Flight owls are known for their. I think the misconception with bats is bats are blind, but they're not actually. They're not blind during the daylight. I think that is a misconception, I believe. The ability, oh yeah. The shape found of so-called nocturnal eyes, such as the eyes of sternifimine primates and bathoplegic fishes. Since the eyes are fixed into these tubes, they are unable to move their eyes in any direction. Instead of moving their eyes, the owl swivels their head. Owls' heads are capable of swiveling at an angle of 270 degrees. Let's just talk about animals. Yeah. The Gentoo penguin, man. The ability keeps the body movement at minimum. This will reduce the amount of sound an owl makes as it waits for its prey. Owls are regarded as having the most frontally placed eyes among all avian groups, which gives them some of the largest binocular fields of vision. Owls are farsighted and cannot focus on an object within a few centimeters. Isn't that crazy? Came from an arrow, stayed for the animal knowledge. For real. But you should purchase Monero, and you should purchase an owl with Monero. It is kind of interesting too that they're farsighted and they can't focus on objects within a few centimeters of their eyes. The mechanisms are only able to function due to the large size retinal image. Thus, primarily nocturnal function in the vision of the owl is due to its large posterior nodal distance, retinal image brightness, and only maximize the owls within secondary neutral function. These attributes of the owls cause nocturnal eyesight to be far superior than of its average prey. Like, look at this. That's like kind of frightening. He looks kind of depressed too. So it seems like, yeah, his eyes are fixed in a spot, and that's why they're the icon. Let's talk about your mom. When Monero When is Monero breed of cat coming out? Go ahead. Get his head right. Welcome to the conversation. Yeah, for real. Italians beat camouflage. Yeah, I learned something. I think Callius plus Tabby would be the Monero cat breed. Yeah. I learned that camouflage, like obviously black doesn't appear in nature for whatever reason. Like it's not natural. That's why when people do like tactical black, it's like you're doing something like very like unnatural, which is in itself kind of interesting. But I learned that one of the most popular form of like camouflage. It's kind of interesting. It's like M1. It's like one from like it's like the standard one you see like hardcore kids wear. Oh, base. Yeah, I need to. There's some stuff that I want to add to my network rack, but it's just not. Cat out your tongue. I think Cat Tubby would be them. The Icon 2020. He actually pee pee poo poo. Wow, based. I would even say that there's so many different types of owls too. Like, look how frightening this. There is some like interesting. Yes, I like your mom's time. I forget. I can't even like shame people for mom jokes. What's your favorite web browser besides Tor? Brave. It does ad blocking the easiest because your mom jokes are pretty. Hold on. My ADHD is kicking in. I can't ever shame someone for mom jokes because they're kind of funny. And I always say your mom. Even though in like real life I don't. Like, but on the internet it's just for some reason. Probably my favorite browser is probably Tor. Besides Tor, probably Brave. Brave is my favorite web browser is Firefox set up properly. Can't do that. There's no way. It's not even possible. Why are you hacking? Stop hacking. That's fine. I don't like Firefox, surprisingly, for a lot of reasons. I know Tor picked Firefox as like the base model, and I feel like that was a mistake. So it kind of depends what my flow is. So I use Secure Blue's web browser on cubes. I use Firefox if it's default and it's a virtual machine. In some cases, I prefer. Yeah, Fire Dragon's cool. Garuda is pretty. I used Garuda for a long time, and it was very based of them to not do any form of age verification. We're hearing Discord notifications. I think. Yeah, you are. Some people message in Discord. And because like my streaming setup is like linked all this stuff together, it's gonna throw notifications like left and right. But Brave being Chrome based, so Chrome from a security standpoint is far superior than Firefox. It has better sandboxing, tab isolation on especially on the browser side. Even on mobile, it's better. Firefox hasn't like really incorporated this on the mobile side. IronFox on the mobile, IronFox is far superior. I use Discord in the sense that other people use Discord, but it's bridged between IRC. It's bridged between IRC and Matrix. I prefer Matrix, but of course I'm going to use Discord. I want to reach a mass adoption of people. We have a Discord, Matrix, X, and P bridge together. Yeah, for sure. I can't use Discord anymore. That sucks. Do not gatekeep security from normies. For real. Yeah, that's the answer. That's always going to be the answer. That sucks. But if you join the Matrix, it'll bridge to Discord. They won't even know. You can join Matrix or XMPP, and it's all linked together, so it doesn't really matter which platform you use. I just want people to use whatever platform they feel comfortable with. Firefox in perspective has a lot of lack of security features. Brave just incorporates Discord is dying in my opinion. It's not a good platform. Brave uses Web 3 and Libre uses Web 2, which I think is better for privacy. That's debatable. Privacy is only as good as its security. Firefox is kind of not the best option. There's even some speculation that if Chrome existed at the same time as Firefox for Tor, how it would have been incorporated, they probably would have went with it. I get it, using what people still use, yeah, for sure. Isn't Web3 some crypto shit coin or something? Yeah, kind of. Well, I mean, I know what he's saying. But the real issue with the Chrome in itself and Brave in itself is better at. This is why Graphene OS use Vidanium, because Chrome's security and sandboxing is better than Firefox. Mozilla also has shit the bed, in my opinion, as a company. I'm not a fan of them. I know you can fork it and kind of do whatever you want with it, but at the end of the day, Mozilla still is the main pull of it. They accepted, Google as one of the default search engines. They overspend their money on, bullshit. They're like, no AI, and then they're like, kind of AI. We're going to use it still. I just don't like Mozilla for a lot of reasons. I don't think that's a reason to not like a product, because the Brave Foundation did a lot of shady things that I was not a fan of either. But Brave backtracked it, corrected it. They backtracked it, they corrected it. I still believe that in user freedom at the end of the day is ultimately the best option. So if I'm on mobile and I need to use Firefox, I use Iron Fox. He's cat not leaking his info online. My SI cat who doesn't use it, he should use Brave. If I'm mobile, Iron Fox. If I use Firefox, then Brave. Vidanium for certain stuff. On desktop, I use Tor and or Brave. On my laptop with CubesOS, I use Cube. Oh, that's kind of funny. What do you think of CubesOS? CubesOS is on my laptop permanently. It's not going to change. I don't think I'll ever use another operating system on in a laptop scenario, unless CubesOS does something really fucked up. CubesOS, I use Brave with a combination of Brave and Secure Blue's browser, which starts with a T, I think. I can't remember. But I use CubesOS for sure a lot. It's the most reasonably secure operating system because it does virtualization when it comes to actually security. And on top of it, it has really good, I think it's really cool, but no hardware acceleration. What do you think about LibreWolf? I'm not a Firefox enjoyer, so it's kind of hard. I switched from Cubes to hardened encrypted Gen 2. That's because Billy only has 5 gigs of RAM to play with, and he couldn't get the base Cubes experience. LibreWolf is, if I had to use Firefox, I would probably use LibreWolf. I think they make some okay decisions, but the problem is Firefox doesn't necessarily incorporate, even on LibreWolf, it doesn't really incorporate anything that is kind of like the glaring issues. Hardened Firefox isn't really a thing. I just used Linux Mint, and I have Cubes on a second SSD. Oh, that's cool. Hardened Firefox doesn't really exist if you peel back the layers, because at the core level, Firefox doesn't incorporate these in the way they have the browser in general. I've looked over like arguments for and against. Like, I mean, there's good. I have 8 gigs of on the laptop, one with hard encrypted Gen 2 and 16 on the main computer with Gen 2. You should use cubes on one of them and just install Gen 2 on cubes. That would be the based way to do it. So like, if you look at Cubes OS, not Cubes, Firefox. And then these are people that are smarter than me, so I just kind of like come to my conclusion. 120 gig of DDR RAM is like 21K, absolutely insane. Wanted to upgrade to. Well, I hope it makes you feel better that my gun that I just bought, I could have bought 4 of them, 4 of the guns that I have for 120 gigs of RAM. Yeah, it's gonna go. It's gonna go down. It can only go up for so long. Chrome OS, actually, if you want a really secure operating system, Chrome OS is pretty good. It's actually kind of the base. Docker and OIC hardening based. I can kind of get there. Release cycle, boo! LTS, boo! Wayland is obviously much better. 2K, not 21K, but still. Oh yeah, sorry. Sad that Lenovo fell off after the ThinkPad T480. I can't upgrade to 16 gigs of RAM on my ThinkPad. PrivaSec looks cool. Thank you for showing. PrivaSec Dev is very good. How will you actually get Monero and wallet privately without using your card? We can go into that. It's definitely 100% possible. Trivalent, excellent browser. I use it. The hardened malloc is obviously a better option, but that's its own thing. Encrypted swap, baby. Yeah, PrivaSec is very knowledge person, very awesome to like just listen to. They have a matrix server. Sometimes I'll pop in and just read what people's opinions. A very cool, educated person just to listen. I think Bisco Retro. I like RetroSwap better. I've used it. I've used both. I miss Local Monero. I think Local Monero was one of the best things out there. You just download the software and gives you a wallet. As far as no, he's asking like how do you get Monero and a wallet privately without using your card? Like I'm assuming he's asking how to set up a Monero wallet and get Monero into that wallet privately. It's a little bit more nuanced than that, but if you ever want, we read the Monero white papers like months back. I thought there was a Firefox option here. No. There we go. We're gonna. They go over the. I mean, it's kind of old. They talk about like Firefox's like insecurities. Yeah, sandboxing isn't native. LokiNet mentioned. LokiNet sucked. LokiNet session needing funding, which I've said that they're garbage. No, I'm not into ricing. Ricing, it takes too much time, and I like having sex with women, to be honest. Where did I see this? Damn it. God, there was a Firefox option somewhere. I can't remember. Where did I read this? You ever read something and it was so good? It was so good you forgot? Labo Session didn't get their payout from ETH. Yeah, I could rant for like a good couple hours on why I think Session's a pile of shit, but it's. Sorry, I didn't mean to roast. No. Signal or Simple Chat. Signal for the normies. Simple Chat. Simple X Chat. I see LokiNet and Session as two entirely different things, but it's owned by the same company. It's owned by the same people. It's the same people. LokiNet's terrible because the amount of there we go. Oh yeah, WebView is a huge thing. Another thing that people don't. I think I saw it on. Okay. Let me read this. No non-deracing. Session didn't get their payout. So Session, the amount of resources you need to run a node is insane. It's crazy. I've never thought Session was good. They removed perfect forward secrecy, and they said it's not an issue, even though every other application in a secure messaging app has it. So why do they all have it? Signal or Simple Chat. Signal over SMS, 110%. You should use Signal over SMS. It's better. It doesn't matter. All the fucking reading under the world, reading under the world of like being like Signal's a honeypot, Signal's worthless, garbage, bad takes, out of context, or like super hyped up, like headlines. Simple X is great because the lack of like a number and metadata, but spam exists. That's got to be something you have to think about, and you got to be very careful because they want to use something with the Ethereum like way to do payments. They want to use with the Ethereum zero knowledge proofs. You can go on their site and read it and see other people's perception of it, like their thought process of it. I think Simple X Chat is fine for what it's worth. If you're that worried, use a VPN before you connect to it. Make sure you don't reveal any personal information. And you should do this in general. My general advice, even if it's in my Matrix Discord chat, my Matrix Discord or XMPP, even if it's encrypted, you should treat it that it's public and it will be leaked. There will be a vulnerability and it will be leaked. That information that you put out there is there forever. It will be leaked. Does any of this privacy stuff even matter if you have AMD, PSP, Intel management services? Sometimes it feels pointless. No. And I'm going to explain why. Intel management system is a threat. Is it your threat? Probably not. AMD's PSP is a threat. It is an attack surface. It is a problem if it matters to you. I don't have it because I have Core Boot and I had it disabled and neutered, primarily based off of attack surface. But if let's say hypothetically, if it was put there, the problem is these things are tools real tools used in IT infrastructure. I don't think it's malicious. I don't think it's a backdoor. I don't think it's enforced. I don't think it's necessarily a problem because they are tools that are used, and tools can be exploited. Bluetooth is a backdoor. then Wi-Fi is a backdoor. You know what I mean? Your camera's a backdoor. Your microphone's a backdoor. All these things, at least AMD PSP doesn't have a network stack, but I bricked my ThinkPad trying to flash core boot. RIP. Yeah, sorry to hear that. I just paid. I mean, my laptop had the option to have it. And I agree. But the thing is, these things are tools used in IT infrastructure. I don't expect a company to be like, we're going to only incorporate it here and not incorporate it here. That would probably be expensive and costly and time consuming. There's a use for it. Do we need open source at the chip level and open source BIOS? Absolutely, 110%. I mean, I'm for it. I think we should have open source all the way down to like the motherboard, the microcode, whatever. But does that mitigate everything? No, that's silly. Everything comes down to a level of trust. If you buy a laptop and you put the most secure operating system on it, of course, yeah, if your BIOS and like your laptop has been compromised, it's worthless. RAM is a backdoor. RAM is a backdoor. Oh. I know. I think that, are you talking about like where they can like read like your password and everything? We actually talked about this maybe a few weeks ago, where people assume like RAM can be like everything can be read from it. It actually can't. Looking at states that they're censorship resistant, yet limits the people who can use. So actually, this is a fun fact. This is interesting. DDR4 RAM, anything above DDR3 RAM, it's not even possible. The second you cut power from RAM, like you do a reboot, even if you don't do a reboot, you need slower RAM. Even cold boot attacks aren't even a thing anymore. Like it's not possible. RAM, the second it's cut, it wipes everything. It's like 5 seconds. It's like 5 microseconds or something like that. It's interesting. We talked about this live like a couple of months ago because people were bringing up like RAM can be exploited. It can't because it's too fast. It wipes everything. It's too fast, and that would make it's super interesting. I looked into like how RAM handles this. It's kind of crazy. The currency, even if you freeze RAM right now, this only really works at like DDR3 apparently and DDR2 because it's slower. It operates slower. It's interesting. But it's like, even if you freeze it, it's like you need to do it so fast. It's not really even possible. It's cool. Can't they freeze RAM though? Like, yeah, for sure. But newer RAM, it depends on the RAM type, and newer RAM, it's too quick. It loses. You can just power it off. Once your power cuts off, it's like microseconds. It's like 5 seconds or something like that. I read a paper on it. It was really cool. Even if you freeze it, even if you immediately freeze it afterwards, it's not really recoverable. It's kind of interesting. And it's not even a security feature of it. It's just a byproduct of how RAM works. Looking at states that they're censorship resistant, yet limited to the people who can use their service. Yeah, RAM's very interesting. It's very interesting how it works. But what's more crazy is that we don't use error correcting memory, ECC, which we should have. All CPUs, motherboards, operating systems should just support error correcting RAM, because eventually you're going to run into a problem. Looking at states that they're censorship resistant, yet limit the people who can use the service and have content policy. That's pretty backwards in my opinion. Definitely not using Looking.net. The other problem with Looking.net is the barrier to entry to run a node. It's expensive. It's very expensive, and it's very pointless. The thing is so, bro, I keep commenting on something and you're already saying. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe our brains are in sync or something. My thing is, policies should be written in a plain, simple, easy to understand, very shortened perspective, like a very shortened. Why is it expensive to run Looking at? Look at the requirements. You have to lock up funding. You have to lock up funding. Look at what it costs to run a node. It's on their site. It's insane. You need like 20,000 of their tokens or something. You need to lock it up. That's the point. That's the pro. They want to do it so that they get paid to do it. They want to make sure that people like are doing it. Their ideology is based on like people that do it Tor. They do it for the freedom, and people that do it for Tor do it based on freedom and selfish. You're a selfless person. You are not doing it to gain any monetary value, and they think that's a problem. So they require you to lock up funding, and then you can stake it. You got to stake it, and it's good. Just go look at it. It's insane. It's actually insane. It's fucking retarded. It's a retarded thought. I run a Tor node because I want people to have access to the internet, and I believe in freedom. I mean, at the end of the day, and to be censorship resistant, I think people should have the right to privacy. VPN or VPS for general privacy? VPN. VPSs don't change the. You're still transferring the trust to the owner of those data centers, and your IP is static, so that's even more retarded. You can just use Mulvad. Mulvad's pretty. Mulvad's if they can defeat it in court, they can defeat it. You're pretty safe. The point is, there are some things that I do in this space that I will never make money on. I will never see a return, and I don't care. I mean, that's just the reality. I think people should have access. The internet should have unfederated freedom access. Besides people that are committing, I would consider immoral crimes, and people can fight back and forth about morality. But at the end of the day, if you're doing something what I consider illegal and immoral, like, child sexual abuse material, I don't like that. I think you should be in prison. I mean, I think you should be somewhere else, but I think you should be 6 feet under, brother. And I don't think that's an extreme take. I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think it's an edgy take. I don't think it's a crazy take. I think if you do stuff like that, jail, 6 feet under, whatever you want to do. Murder them. Dead. Gone. Not in public. But I think it's also good that people have access to the internet, and we shouldn't force ID to prevent all this and protect, just all this bullshit that just infringes on people's rights. Just when people commit these crimes, police need to do their job, investigate, find, and, take care of it and repeat. And I mean, that's how we have done it for hundreds of thousands of years or whatever. Where I don't agree with that. That doesn't seem like they should be doing that. And they go through the trial, they convict them, and then let the prison system take care of it. It's not really as much. It's not really as much as like Tor is the perfect place to be, or LokiNet, or we need Hyphenet or Freenet or I2P, all these things. What we need is a way to decentralize the internet and have people have access in a private manner. And all these things kind of do the same thing. They just do it in a different way. But we didn't really need the LokiNet. I mean, I2P's been around longer. It's more efficient at what it does, and its still use is less than Tor. LokiNet's been around for quite a long time now. A minute, as some would say. Do you think Graphene OS is compromised? No. Also, I saw that they signed a deal with Motorola, which means which seems sketchy as fuck. No, not really. So the thing is, they've never been against. Look, Graphene OS has never been against being on different hardware manufacturers. Their stance has always been that hardware manufacturers need to have their their list of the Graphene OS's baseline security, I2P, LokiNet, for real, yeah. Graphene OS's bare minimum list, it's a very exhaustive list. Bare minimum list should be the standard. And manufacturers need to be held accountable. You need to really build security from the ground up. You do need to build security at the chip level, the microcode level, the kernel, the BIOS, the hardware, all the way up to the fucking screen that you're touching. That's just the reality. If you want a secure system, you have to start with the chain of trust. You have to start all the way from the bottom to the top. That's just how it works. It's like a house. If you can build the most beautiful, sexy house on the planet, and you have a foundation, it doesn't matter. Phones need to have better privacy options. Since you talk with, yeah, 100%. And Graphene OS gives you that. So the fact that it gives you back network blocking, like you get a firewall built in, you block stuff at the network level. That airplane mode does achieve what it says. And I think they wanted to partner with somebody that essentially is going to do the manufacturing side, because then if Graphene OS had to build their own device and manufacture it, it would cost them tens of millions of dollars probably, and time, even tens of thousands, even if it's hundreds of thousands of dollars, whatever. Let's just go on a small scale. It takes away from them developing good, secure software. I would rather them focus on software, and as long as Motorola meets them and agrees to their security standards, I see it as a win. I wouldn't have picked Motorola personally. I don't know. And it's gonna be on their flagship phones. It's not like they're not dropping the Pixel. But I want other vendors like Samsung, OnePlus, and all of them to be like, you know what? We should start having these standards, and we should start at the core level, down to the chain of trust, down to the bare minimum, down to the chip, the manufacturing, all the way up to the hardware, from the software to the hardware. Did you end up figuring out an anonymous Google account, by the way? I did. It's a little bit complicated, but it's 100% doable. If you use a virtual number wise, my most consistent was SMS pool. I fed it information. You can do it via the smartphone. You can also do it via the browser. It's kind of like it's very randomized, and because it's so randomized, it's not really. There's no way I could walk someone through it where I'm getting 100% repeated results. I'm gonna only get what I think is somewhat the most consistent, and the most consistent is don't use Tor, unfortunately. Use public Wi-Fi and do it on Graphene OS. But we'll look at that too. And if you guys have extra Monero laying around, donate to them. I want this project to blow up. Oh, here it is, recommendations. If you look at browser, I really like Cube's 4.3 implementation of Cloak to anonymize your keystroke patterns. Yeah, that's from also bare minimum from Unix. Yeah, it's great. Just even something that simple. Your keystroke patterns can de-anonymize you. It's kind of interesting. If you don't like Brave, there's Chromite. I think Chromite is Chromite still relevant? I can't remember. Fingerprinting only works, by the way, if everyone starts using it. This is Vidanium's biggest problem, is that it doesn't have, here we go. Firefox includes a unique download token. There we go. Where is it? They had it. Oh, maybe. Ooh. They had a section that was like where it talked about Firefox's like issue that doesn't really kind of exist in Firefox. You should check out telemetry. Your head's gonna explode. Oh, isn't that where they like? Yeah, it doesn't take a lot of your writing to match you. Yeah, but I don't feel like using AI and I copy and paste every single time I type. You can. Telemetry is a study of a linguistic style primarily applied to written text. Oh yeah, it's fucking crazy. I think people have been indicted on their signature, like just the way they write. Yeah, but it isn't. Isn't that crazy? Just the way you write is unique. Ah man, and obviously stuff like this, guys, is like it's esoteric out in the wild. Like it's obviously not going to be used against you. It's cool to learn about. There is stuff that's very fringe in my use case in the privacy and security world that I come across all the time, and I'm like, that's fucking schizophrenic, like crazy. Like I wouldn't, I almost, if I wasn't a rational person, or if you met me, like if I was introduced to this like 5 maybe 10 years ago, I would have fucking thrown the internet out of my house and just moved in the woods. But it's just so what happened when I got into private. Are we getting to Monero? We will get to Monero. We'll get to more Monero. No worries. When I started the privacy and security, I took a class in this college. Somehow, crazy coincidence, but we worked with like honestly very small amount of text, for real. When you get into the privacy and security, you start at a very slow pace, and then you get schizophrenic halfway through. And this is what I call the burnout, where you get so burnt out because you're like, why does it matter? It does matter, and there's ways you can mitigate it, but you have to again go back to the basic formula. Understand your threat model. Take your threat model and make sure that you stick to it and understand that it's constantly evolving. But a crescent is based. A crescent like is going to be hopefully they need funding. So for people that want to use a Google free account, like a Google free way to get applications in a secure manner that isn't mumbo jumbo, or you don't know where it's coming from, or you don't know who's signing it, or you don't making sure you're not getting automatic updates, they accept Monero. So we're gonna look at Monerica, and we're gonna lead into some more Monero stuff. I'm gonna grab some more beer. I'll be back in a second. But yeah, it doesn't take a lot to match your writing, which is crazy. Your writing is super unique. Yeah. You gotta love more pickles. I love pickles. Oh no, Emacs. Billy mentions Emacs. What's Emacs? Nano Gang? For real, Nano Gang. Nano Gang mentioned. Oh, it's a text header. Emacs is more than a text header. It's technically an operating system. I really like Kate, but it didn't let me set up as a default. From Emacs manual, Emacs is the advanced, extensible, customizable self-document editor. It's beyond that. But all the LLMs default give you nano instructions. Very cool stuff. Basically lets AI use tools, including Kali. Yeah, I do not understand letting AI run commands itself. Just copy and paste. There's no functionality loss. You're not risking an unfixable system. Yeah, there's some argument. That's why I never used OpenClaw because it just looked like too much of a risk to me. There's probably like a good way to run like local AI for certain stuff like automation. Like AI for automation isn't really a crazy concept. I used Ansible like quite a lot when I was trying to automate server infrastructure in like my home lab, and I mean playbooks are pretty. They come in handy when you want to do stuff that's like repetitive. You can just use a VM per project. Yeah, if you're gonna run OpenCloud, just do it in a virtual machine for the love of God. Like, I don't think people should fear AI as much as they're making it out to be. There's probably good use cases for it. There's probably stuff that, like, you find, like, that you would never, you, like, just instead of searching endless fucking forums on shit to fix stuff, there's probably, like, a good use case for it. 100%. So, this is Monerica, a very based and cool place that really supports Monero. They're awesome. I've talked to them. They have a lot of insight on Monero, like running a website and running a business based on Monero. It's super cool. They have like their sponsors and everything. Obviously, Wagyu is terrible. Don't use it. Centralized exchange and garbage, in my opinion. I'm very sus about sus. It's very sus to me. And it helps so much with Kubezilla. Yeah. I get a lot of, I mean, you know, I guess like devil's advocate, I don't run into a lot of Cubes issues, but their community has helped a ton with me. I raise my quick shell in like 3 days instead of spending months learning something I'm not interested in. Yeah, for real. There's good uses for AI, 100%. Instead of you spending 8 to 10, hours on something that you're just not only not interested in, just who cares? But big projects can really be. Yeah, there are things. Look, you'll have more time to spend on stuff that you actually want to learn. You'll retain and learn from. Why would you? Look, learning efficiently and smart is always going to be better. It's no different than picking up a book and it's like, I got to try to raise my Linux mint via AI. I don't rise though. I like having sex with women still. Good idea. It's a pretty base idea. So Monerica is a way, for you to kind of like get introduced to businesses that essentially use Monero as a core function of their business, and it allows you to write reviews. There is a debit card that I'm using right now that allows me to take my Monero, convert it to cash, cash, quote unquote cash, and use it to be able to spend like a regular debit card. It's a physical debit card. It's called, I'm not going to give the name right now, but because it's not important. Because they haven't released. Later, Billy. Fuck you, because you asked where the Monero was. Later, though. So with the card, it's really cool because I take my Monero, it converts it. Yeah, it is sick. But the problem is, they said they're going to release an Android app, and they haven't yet. I'm going to wait until they release the Android app, even though they've worked, even though they haven't abandoned it, even though they've done everything under the sun that I kind of want in a card. Yeah, what the fuck, you can expand it? Yeah, I will. So you have to pay a deposit. They charge a 4% fee. But what you do is you take your Monero, and you go to their Telegram. I think it's a bot, but it's like you go to their Telegram. You do zero KYC besides your address. But your address, you can use whatever address. You can use a virtual address. You can use a PO box. Doesn't matter. You send them the Monero, and you give them the transaction ID. They confirm it. They give you the amount of that Monero in cash minus the 4% fee and the transaction fee. I've used it. It works. There are some restrictions, like guns, explosives, gambling sites, I think strip clubs, and like a few other things. But other than that, it works. I'm spending Monero as if it was regular cold cash. And it is. It's whatever. It's cash. But they convert the Monero to cash for me. I don't have to do any swapping. I don't have to do a damn thing, and I didn't have to KYC myself. So I go into a bar, I buy some beer, I use my card, boom, Monero. The thing is, Monero's privacy is so good that if you do this, as long as you swap as much as possible between wallets, etc., it doesn't matter. And this is what is great about it. I use Monero digitally to buy stuff. I bought my laptop with Monero. I bought and I warrantied out a part. It's not like I didn't get to warrant. There was a part there was a problem. There was an issue. I warrantied out, zero fucking issue. I bought something. That's the most expensive thing I bought with Monero. I've bought my Mulvad subscription, my email subscription, my so they ship you a debit card? Yes, they ship you a debit card. I guess if it's the Monero, maybe it's secure, but I feel like it would be so easy for them to skim a few dollars off the top. For sure, that is a thought process. But even if they take, I think they use Telegram because it's very easy to integrate with a bot. That's all it is. I mean, there's no other. They also have support on S Simple X. But from an automation standpoint, I think that's why they use it. That's why I messaged them like, hey, where's the app? Like, once they move to the app, then it doesn't matter. And they confirmed it will be open source, and they embrace people to go and audit and dig through it. They've never given me an issue, like, you know what I mean? Like, they've never given me an issue. I send the amount. I do the conversion too, like on my own term. Like I go and convert because it's not in a U.S. currency. So I convert it. I remove 4%. I remove the transaction fee that I know that I'm paying when I'm sending Monero regardless, and it ends up being fine, fairly reasonable. But I recoiled on the Telegram a bit too. Yeah, for sure. But I think they're using Telegram because of the automation part. It's easier. It's easier to keep track of everything. And communication-wise, and it's free. It's not costing them anything. So it keeps the cost low. I'm not a fan of Telegram. I agree with you guys. Once the app comes out, once the app is released, you'll be able to do this is how you do your deposits. The Telegram is really for the deposits. And again, they could have rug pulled me like 3 or 4 times by now. They're like, thank you. Yeah, fairly reasonable, but yeah. I don't know what FS stands for. So once the Android app releases, Then I'll give my full review. I've been wanting to just do it, but I want the Android app to be released so I can know that it's legit. Now, the problem, here's a few caveats with it. The card itself only lasts 3 years. It's an expensive deposit on a risk. Oh, for sure? Okay. It's an expensive deposit. So you're taking a risk. I was taking a risk that it was a rug pull. That's why I didn't want to promote it to people, because I think if they get rug pulled, I don't want people to make a decision based on my recommendation. Obviously, it's always your own risk, but I don't think it's good to, especially Monero is already sketchy enough to people. People already have an issue with it because it's honestly so good at what it does. It's one thing. So it's nice that I took a risk. It worked out. It's kind of a steep cost. But I mean, base king, yeah, for real. So I went out and my two main concerns that I came in with is the instructions wasn't I understand it's a language barrier, wasn't the most clean. So I docked a point from it. And when I used it, it was great because it worked. I was like, oh my God. And you can withdraw cash with it. So they have you go up to the ATM. I haven't done this yet, by the way. You go up to the ATM, you can pull cash out. It's a limit. They have a limit on it. No KYC. You can go up to an ATM, pay the fee, pull the cash out. It's not just a debit. It's just not just you can only use it as a debit card. That's the cool part. I will test that at some point. Once I deposit a certain amount, I'll pull out physical cash, a small amount, see if it works. Done. It's sick. And it's global. You can use it anywhere in the fucking world. So that's my first step. Why people? I hope it convinces people to convert to Monero. Monero's ecosystem is growing. There is something called Is there anything wrong with privacy-wise with just withdrawing cash from a regular bank? No, but you have to ask permission from your bank. That's the problem. That's the issue. You have to go to your bank and ask them, hey, can I get my money out? And it's like a certain amount. They will only give you. After just like depositing. If you deposit over 10K or withdraw 10K, they have to report it. Like, why? Why is that any of your business? I put my money in your bank to safeguard it, and you're going to tell me when I can take it out? You're the only reason you exist is because of me, nothing else. That's my issue with the banking system. Have you read it? Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. The book's on my shelf behind me. It's a good book. I think some of it is what's the word? Hyperbolic. Very hyperbolic, but I will say this. Michael Bazzell does one good thing, and he explains it to people that most people gloss over, and I harp on it. To be private, truly private in America, you need fuck you money. To actually be private in America, and he makes it clear, you need fuck you money. And I mean it. I've looked into it. You need fuck you money. If you don't have fuck you money, you have to do a lot more. You have to be creative. You have to think outside the box. You have to take it to an extreme to a certain degree, but even at the end of the day, you still need fuck you money. Getting a private address in America is a fucking nightmare. And if you fuck up before, like if you say you buy a house, whatever, you buy a house and you want to put it in a trust, can't, because it can be traced back to you. It doesn't matter. You kind of fucked up. You might as well just sell that house and then restart over. And getting a trust isn't cheap. It can cost several to $10,000, an extra $10,000. I'm just saying, to be private in America, this is for anyone that has made it this far listening. You need fuck you money. You can't fuck around with it. You can't make mistakes. Because the thing is, it's kind of like Fed versus, this isn't like a good analogy, but it's like federal agents versus the criminal. The federal agents, aka advertisers, people trying to find your identity, whatever, they can fuck up 1,000,000 times. In reality, they can fuck up 100,000,000 times. You fuck up once and you're screwed. That's why all these, to post apps on the Play Store, you have to literally dox yourself now too. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't agree with that. And it's sad because Android is going the way, like the same route as Apple. Where is it? And I don't like, this is why a Crescent is great, because if Graphene OS is good for one reason, it's side loaded, meaning, I mean, it's not an approved operating system. And because they're not whitelisted, they're not approved, Graphene OS doesn't have to worry about the side loading. So if a Crescent succeeds, then you're kind of good. Good talk, guys. Good night. Take care. Thanks. Appreciate you stopping by. Ghost Protocol 12. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. Don't forget to join the Matrix server, join the XMPP, conversations, whatever, and comment below your favorite jelly bean. You remember those jelly beans that like tasted like Harry Potter? It was like, like Hogwarts piss. Comment your favorite one. Mine was the butter one. For some reason, I don't know why. There was one that tasted like butter for no reason. So, but the thing is, like, you got to just have fuck you money. So, XMR Hub is cool. It's supposed to be a giant resource like Monero. They give swap information, how to swap, how to purchase. You can even purchase. Those were all bad. Oh my God, do you guys remember that shit? Oh, the butter was good. I forgot it. Yeah, you remember it? The Harry Potter like jelly bean like mystery flavors. There was one that was like popcorn, butter popcorn or something. It was good. It was quite good for some reason. But the rest were terrible. So Monero is kind of interesting. You can do like. You can buy it via Kraken. You can buy. I think I used MEXC Exchange a long time ago. I don't know what that is. Or you can just purchase. You can purchase Bitcoin with your in a KYC scenario, and just use a swap. Swapping is the point, and you want to make sure it's decentralized, actually decentralized. You got places like Hyperliquid, which I'm not a fan of because that's what Wagyu beef uses. And all these I don't like referrals for a lot of reasons. I don't like referrals because there is a tracking link in there somewhere. And I think you should, from a privacy standpoint, you should tell people. KYC is know your customer. So like when you know your customer, they know who you are. So this is a really good site. If you want, for anyone that gets this far, this is an excellent site to find services that don't KYC yourself. I'm going to post it in the link right here. So if you want a site that tells you what the KYC is, like no KYC for BISC, no KYC for Elegant Wallet, RoboSats, NIM VPN, which I think is a federal honeypot, and the guy's kind of a douchebag, iVPN, ShopInBit. ShopInBit's great, so you can like buy stuff kind of like very similar to like an eBay or like Amazon experience, and they accept Monero. XMR Bazaar. I mean, this is literally one of my favorite sites. It's like I bookmarked it once I found it. There's so many options you have. And if you're worried, yes, great site. If you're really kind of worried that there are some malicious affiliate links embedded into here, not only you can go to Onion site, first off, as you should, you can just type in the domain. Just type the domain in, do yourself a favor, like click on the site, click on this, see that? This would prevent anything from happening in the background because you're typing in the site, it can't capture anything. You don't gotta worry about it. It's truly a great site. And Monerica is a great site too. Great people, cool people. I've got a lot of insight and talk. Like I've talked to whoever the people are that run this site. They have a lot of insight with how Monero works and like just the people, just like the current state of it. They're a very good, they're very good too. Definitely support them as well. There's Monero. You can even gamble. You can do Monero dice. And then I know XMR Hub is working on a way to do predictions like a poly market, so you can gamble on like global events via Monero. That's the point. Is Monero isn't about becoming a millionaire or rich or the next meme pump coin. It's about having ownership of your money, and it's about having not only ownership of your money, it's about keeping your sovereignty from the banking system. Your Monero account can't get frozen. Your wallet can't get frozen. They can and cannot tell you how much you want to spend, how much you want to withdraw. If I want to withdraw $15,000 tomorrow through my bank, I have to go to my bank and ask for permission. They're going to report it. They're going to put a hold on it. Whatever. They're going to find it suspicious. Some gay shit. And then the dev of Monerica. Yeah, he's very very based. 100%. And by the way, I didn't know Ace Hardware sold guns. They're in Idaho, if I ever wanted to go to Idaho. This is the most base site. I know Ace Hardware is like a franchise, like you can anyone can franchise one. But you can buy guns here, which is awesome. And they accept Monero. Based. Locally owned. Free shipping. Ward's Ace. I like seeing that. Locally owned. Isn't that sick? Like some random Ace Hardware store. They're like, you know what? We're gonna accept Monero. It's kind of sick. And that's why I say when people are on this like, oh, crypto has no utility, or just use Bitcoin because price go up. It's not. Bitcoin has no utility. Their utility. Oh yeah, KYC.me, Wilk 113 is not just for Monero. It's for anything where you don't want to do any form of KYC. So it's kind of cool. Bitcoin's utility. Everyone's like, this is what I've been waiting for. The thing is, Bitcoin is always, you never hear anyone talk about utility besides price action. Just like XRP, the fucking retards that shill that, or Zcash or whatever cucks that wants to come up. Monero's price is barely the selling point. Because it's been kind of stagnant for. I would rather, if Monero stays flat, I would suck. I want always price appreciation with my assets that I don't own. If Monero's price stayed flat and I could just purchase stuff privately. That's all I care about. You know what I mean? There's nothing. There's no other purpose. I want to be able to walk into Ward's Ace country store and be like, give me this burger press for a grill for $14 in Monero. You know what I mean? It's just not. It's not really the monkey JPEGs will take off trust. Oh the fucking yeah. Oh fuck, they do FFL transfers. Nice. Free in-town delivery on orders $50. Well, if I'm ever in Idaho, I don't think I ever go to Idaho. It just seems like a potato. The Bored Ape. Oh my god, I always forget about Bored Ape until someone brings it up. It's kind of funny actually. Nice. And the pricing is pretty good. I mean, everyone's like Amazon, 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 or online. Just support your locally owned billion-dollar corporation, guys. Memes aside, though, like I mean, $5, stuff like that. Home Defense Liquid Insect Killer. Hillman's Fasteners. Let's see. One multi-material. Plastic. Drywall. Your mom. Yeah, it's super cool. Obviously, more sites will accept Monero, the more it becomes. There's Monero Dice. I've never done any of the gambling stuff. Coin cards I used once. It was kind of cool. Wagyu, I don't trust them because I just don't. I just don't like I don't enjoy the person. I've interacted with them. Just not a fan. Your card, never used it. Stuff like this is cool because it gives you kind of like a rating system, and then a review system. Reviews are pretty nice because then you can kind of judge if I'm going to use this or not. Other than that, I mean, I haven't used too many other services in the space of Monerica in general. I generally find services I like already and just use them. There's Digital Goods. Digital Goods is pretty cool. I've purchased a couple things. They're very fast, efficient, friendly. They're from the UK, I think, unfortunately. Unfortunate British moment. But there's so many products out there. Goblin cards. What about them? And the thing is, I've never been, surprisingly, I've never been rug pulled in my existence of using Monero. I've never been scammed. The one time a transaction was short or failed, I contacted support and they're like, yeah, no problem. We're going to help you. Give us this information and we'll fix it. I've been very fortunate and lucky. No KYC debit card is based, man. Yeah, for sure. And that's the thing is, I've never been rug pulled, and when the mistake did happen, they fixed it. They didn't ask for anything personal. They're like, you got to give us this, and even if it was an email address, they're like, just use an email alias. It's a very trusted service. I have more trust in this system with no regulation, no backing, no nothing, than I do with their current system that has all these safeguards in place that don't really help people. It's just a perspective. Oh, nice. Based down. And I forgot you can play blackjack. But yeah, a non-KYC debit card is definitely the step that we need, and we need physical businesses to be able to accept Monero. This is my advice to people that come across this. Spread the word of Monero and get people to understand that it's more than just a currency. It's a way to transact privately. You know, orange pill your. I know it's used for Bitcoin, but orange pill your friends. As I would say, people are just in fear of it because of crypto in general. Because you have fart cum coin, retard token, multimillionaire. 8 inches in thick. What about multimillionaire memes? Like literally, throat fucking your friends into becoming like almost like internet femboys because they want to make like a bag off the internet, an internet meme. So there's not really a good options out there, and it like black pills. It black pills people into thinking there's no good cryptocurrency out there with utility besides getting the bag. You know what I'm saying? So definitely bookmark these pages: XMR Hub, Monerica, privacy.com, a Crescent for the applications, RoboSets if you want to do some some crypto swapping. Obviously, Dread is about to hit Dread sub is going to hit 100,000. Normies hate friction for real. Yeah, for real. Is about to hit 100,000, which is super base and super cool. Hopefully that works out. And guys, I will see you in the next live stream. Thank you everyone for coming by and showing YouTube not only I am a real person and I love all the policies. They've never done anything wrong to me. Coins like wrapped coins are getting ETFs. Yeah, ETFs are kind of garbage and wrapped coins are kind of gay. And if you enjoyed all the content, don't forget to comment below for the engagement. Thank you for the engagement. What your favorite jelly bean from the Harry Potter jelly beans was. Mine was the butter one. So tell me yours. And most importantly, make sure you also enjoy the rest of your day. Because if you don't, 10,000 years of bad luck. I'll see you guys in the next one. See you later.